Hey, what's up guys? I'm back with another smartphone today, and today we have the Cubot X16 smartphone. Now, if you're looking at this device, you're probably not looking to compare this with an iPhone 6 or a Samsung Galaxy Note 5 because, well, this product, one of the fantastic things about this is the price. So coming in about a little bit over $100 depending on your market. This device is probably one of the most feature-packed for its cost devices available at gearbest.com. Now, today I want to just highlight a couple of things that I think might get you interested in why this Cubot X16 would be the right fit for you. And so you can be sure to compare it with other smartphones that we reviewed in the past. But the one thing that you notice about this smartphone right when you open it is that the design is pretty much fantastic. Okay, now I like 5-inch smartphones, so for me this is the perfect size. But looking at the exterior design, you get a nice piano black finish on the back and on the front of the smartphone. And what that means is that you get a nice glossy feel. Now do keep in mind that glossy feel means that you're going to get some fingerprints on this device. Okay, so if you're really OCD about that type of stuff, you might want to give a cover for this, or probably not look at something that has a glossy piano black finish, because the fingerprints do stick out if you use it throughout the day. But on this smartphone, you also get a nice thin bezel and a nice thinness to the sides here. So with the zinc alloy metal kind of trim here, it's only at 6.2 millimeters. So 6.2 millimeters is actually thinner than an iPhone 6, and I think the iPhone 6, comparing both these in my hand, I actually get a nice better feel to this device, and part of that reason is because this device is actually a little bit heavier. And I think the heavier is attributed to the size of the battery in here. So only, even though it's a 5-inch smartphone and 6.2 millimeters, it's able to pack 2,500 milliamp battery inside. And with that kind of battery, you're able to get about, for me, about 14 hours of usage, probably about 5 hours on screen time. And that's about right for what you expect from a smartphone and Android device these days. So I like to keep my phone at near max brightness, and so that's kind of my usage pattern. So for you, if you're using at about minimum brightness, you're going to be able to squeeze out a lot of productivity and a lot of usage time with this. And so you're not sacrificing that with this device here, which is what I like in terms of their feature decision from Cubot's point of view. But another thing that you want to also notice on here is that you get a SIM card, a tray that's right here on the side here. And so on this side you get a Nano SIM or a regular SIM, but also the option to insert a 32 gigabyte TF card in here to expand your memory, because you're only getting about 16 gigs on here. So you want to expand that right away, pretty much right away when you get the phone, and if you start taking pictures or apps, you're going to need that right away. So what's something else that matters on this phone? Well, even though this is only a quad-core CPU, you do get nice responsiveness. I got tons of apps open here, and it actually responds really quick. Okay, so even though it's 2 GB of RAMs at 1.3 gigahertz, I don't notice too big of slowdowns, especially when you're using this device. And so that was a nice surprise here. And if you go into your app drawer and everything is pretty snappy, you're gonna open that right away. And of course, you get all the Google apps preloaded on this device. And this is the Cubot skin that they've designed. And with the Cubot skin, you're able to change up the theme and the styles depending on how you see fit. So that's something that you like. You can switch it up right away, and they included about 7 themes, so you can play around with that to see which one you like. But this, of course, is running Android 5.1. So if you were expecting Android Marshmallow or Android 6.0, you're not going to get that here. So if that's a deal breaker for you, keep in mind that Cubot will probably not update this anytime soon, because this device just came out. And so from what I've heard talking with Cubot is that they're working on packing Android Marshmallow into their newer devices. So for this one that's already out on the market, you're not going to probably expect that. Okay, now you might get it, you might not get it, but that's not a deal breaker for you, then this device might work for you. Now, of course, the camera on here works pretty well. So I think the contrast and the color saturation on this device is a little higher than what I've been used to. For some smartphones, you do get a nice pop. So I just want to show a couple things here for you guys that I like. So one thing is you actually get somewhat of a live photos here. Okay, so what I mean by live photos is that if you've been following iPhone, you notice that when you take a picture, I'm gonna try to take a picture here. So when you take a picture, it's going to produce a live photo for you, and that's going to record a short video segment of, no, I didn't even take a picture. Okay, so let me see. Okay. So what that's going to do for you is that it's going to save that live photo, and you're going to be able to see the motions with it. So for example, I have a live photo here that I pre-recorded. And so this, I took a picture of my hand, but because it was in live photo mode, it's able to take a video with it as well. So you can play back the video. It's going to show you the moments up to that photo. So this is great for sports, or if you're outdoors and you're seeing a lot of motion, you're able to capture that image and also capture the lead up or the build up to that image. So that's a nice touch, and something that kind of sets this apart. In addition to this smartphone camera, in terms of their software, they've also included a picture-in-picture mode. Okay, so what that means is that when you're looking at the smartphone, you're able to see here the other side. So you're getting the back rear camera and also the front. And so for those guys who take pictures, this works pretty well, because you're able to, for example, if I want to take a picture like this, okay, and so what that does is that it's going to create a picture of my videographer, but also a picture of me as well, included inside the photo. So you can play around with that. That's a nice, interesting feature. It's not a must-have, but it's a nice to have if you like to play around with that. Now, looking back on this camera, you do get a 13 megapixel on the rear and a 5 megapixel on the front. So the 13 megapixel on the rear and the 5 megapixel on the front, which is more than enough. What you need for smartphone pictures these days is able to take really crystal clear pictures outside. If you're especially any type of motion, you can see the responsiveness of the screen, and the picture and the shutter speed is efficient at taking a little bit of motion. Now, this is not the best camera in the world, and I'm not going to lie to you guys. With this camera, for most of you guys, if you're not in a good light setting, it's not going to be able to produce a great picture. Okay, so just keep that in mind if that's something that you're looking for. But for those of you guys who are shopping with a very, very strict budget, maybe you're getting this for a grandparent, or your mom and dad, and they just want a phone that just works and has Android on here. Well, then this device is probably a great fit for them. If you're someone of a seasoned user, if you're coming from like a Samsung Note 4, for instance, or if you played around with a lot of the HTC phones, you're gonna like the build quality, but probably the internals are probably gonna be a little bit disappointing to you. So keep that in mind if that's a deal breaker. But for me, this build quality and the package that it comes with at its price is a great deal. I don't think you're gonna get too many other smartphones looking like this and feeling like this at this price. So if that works for you, go now to Gear Best and get yours today. Thanks, guys.